Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, this is Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things through a common sense lens. And I don't think there is anybody out there who is a fan or even a casual normie of Star Trek that does not know William Shatner. I mean, he is the OG captain of Star Trek. Captain Kirk is the absolute legendary one out there. And if anybody disagrees that he's the best captain out there, well, you're simply wrong, boys and girls. Obviously, all comments are allowed in the comment section down below. But at the end of the day, it's been one of those fun things that I really love following William Shatner out there on social media. It's a fascinating read, and he really is starting to see the guy get to the point and age at his life that he's really just doesn't give a crap anymore. I mean, you all have known that, right? You've had a grandfather or a grandmother or a crazy old uncle or something like that they get to that stage in their life where they just don't give two craps anymore. They're going to tell you your opinion, whether you like it or not. They're not going to hold anything back. They're not going to try to coddle your feelings. They're not going to care about that in any way, shape, or form. And boys and girls, that's exactly what Captain Kirk has done, because obviously the state of modern Kurtzman Trek out there has been an absolute abomination. What Paramount has given us over the last few years has obviously led to, at least to in some degree, they're now a core acquisition by Skydance out there, because now they are one big company, Skydance Paramount, boys and girls. And hopefully, considering some of the rumors we've heard about the new folks that are going to be in charge over there, we might actually see a return to proper form of Star Trek in the future. But until then, boys and girls, we are dealing with Kurtzman Trek. And William Shatner has been very, very closely eyeing all this stuff, because obviously they have a character inside of this stuff that is supposed to represent him, that is supposed to be an alternative. Well, the latest edition of that has gotten the captain all up in his tizzies, and the old man ain't holding nothing back, boys and girls. And I don't think there's anything worse than getting burned by the OG captain of Star Trek. And it's just a beautiful thing to see, because William Shatner calls out Strange New World's poor Kirk impressions. It doesn't sound like me. And boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that is the nicest aspect of what he says. He absolutely rips and roasts and burns this actor for how poorly of a job he does, not only pretending to be Kirk, but actually his whole acting ability as all. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't think it could be a much bigger burn for anybody out there trying to portray a Star Trek character, especially Captain Kirk, than coming from William Shatner himself. So we're going to take this article from Fandom Pulse, getting all of the juicy details of exactly what our dear captain has said. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing. We just crossed 2,100. I think we're sitting at like 2,124, and we're sailing our way towards 2,200, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment section in the down below. Are you enjoying Strange New Worlds? Have you liked the show? Do you like the alternative take? Do you like all the diversity, inclusion, and equity nonsense that's been going on inside of it? Do you think it's actually a great way to enjoy good Star Trek? Or are you like the majority of the fan base out there that have tuned out and turned off to Kurtzman Trek out there? Did you go actually watch this episode? Do you think William Shatner is absolutely spot on by what he is saying about their poor portrayal of Captain Kirk? Or did you actually enjoy the kind of alternative out there? Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below, because as always, all comments are welcome in the section down below. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links in the description as well. And honestly, for our live streams, the chat's the same way. All comments are welcome down there, whether you agree with me or not. It's all fun to talk about, because hey, we're just a bunch of nerds, and arguing is kind of what we do. So from Fandom Pulse, boys and girls, William Shatner delivered a scathing assessment of Strange New World's latest attempt to capture his iconic Captain Kirk, declaring the performance fundamentally flawed in a recent reaction video. The 93-year-old actor's blunt critique highlights an ongoing problem with the show's casting and tone. So this is from Shatner himself. "It doesn't sound like me. It doesn't even look like me," he stated while watching clips from the episode. His frustration was palatable as he continued, "I don't understand the twitch. Come on, what would you change about his impression to make it better?" I mean, he's literally going over there and just taking all of this apart, but it's going to get even better. The episode in question featured Paul Wesley Kirk in a holodeck-style adventure aboard the USS Adventure, an adventure aboard the USS Adventure. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Some of the Star Trek ship naming has been absolutely phenomenal in the past, but this new stuff is garbage. The USS Adventure? Okay. where the crew encounters various parodies of classic Trek tropes. According to Trek's Central Review, the installment presented itself as a space adventure hour, complete with deliberately cheesy dialogue and exaggerated performances meant to evoke 1960s television. And honestly, you can do an over-the-top Shatner. I recorded a thing with Flip City Magazine just on Sunday where William Shatner shows up in one of their comic strips out there, and I ended up doing some voiceover work for them for that because they're actually going to animate it and have it go out there. It's going to be really cool. Go check out Flip City Magazine if you haven't. They're a great alternative. They're like the Mad Meat, like Mad TV was back in the day. They are that now. They take shots at both sides. It's a beautiful thing. Go check them out. Go find Kitty Flips out there on social media. You'll be able to check them out. It's wonderful stuff out there. But that's one of the things out there. You can do a cheesy Shatner really, really well. The guy that was voicing the Shatner on Sunday did a really, really great job. Tom from Midnight's Edge does a really great job of an over-the-top, cheesy Shatner. You can do it right. There are a lot of fans out there that do it way better for free online for you than a guy, a Hollywood actor that is actually paid for this job. And don't get me wrong, I like the actor, right? Because I liked him in some stuff out there. Yes, I'll admit it. I watched Vampire Diaries. I watched the originals, okay? I'm just a vampire guy. I couldn't help myself. They had werewolves, witches, all kinds of things. I just couldn't help myself, okay? I like that kind of stuff, okay? Don't get me wrong. The originals was way better. It was way edgier and more harder. But needless to say, I like the actor. But clearly, he can't do a Captain Kirk. And the captain is letting him know that about that. It's really, really funny. This is just great. This is just really great. Wesley's portrayal drew particular ire from Shatner, who noted the actor's strange mannerisms. Wait a minute. It's like he's got a strange twitch. Shatner observed the original Kirk actor seemed puzzled by Wesley's interpretation, adding, the impression is not bad, but the attitude is totally wrong. It's just not working, man. It's just not working. Clearly, the captain is not happy with the poor imitation of his own character out there. I mean, it just doesn't work out there. And here you go. I mean, isn't this just the kind of poster that's going to make you jump right in and feel like it's all Star Trek all the time? Doesn't this just give you the vibe of classic Star Trek that you just can't wait to jump into and enjoy? No? Not for you either? Yeah, I didn't think so. And don't get me wrong, I get the element they're going for. But obviously we know when you come from a place of diversity, inclusion, and equity, hiring, and storytelling, and all of that kind of stuff, and obvious marketing here, as this poster obviously betrays. I mean, seriously, look at the male to female ratio. I mean, come on now. And it's one of them situations where, like, this doesn't surprise anybody out there. But when you come from a place of that kind of, like, paint by the numbers, diversity, inclusion, and equity storytelling, where you have to check all of these boxes, you end up coming with a lot of garbage. And in this case, you end up coming up with some garbage acting as well. And honestly, anyone that's been watching modern Kurtzman Trek at all knows how bad things have actually gotten. I mean, even Robert Meyer Burnett, who was trying his best to give this stuff as much of a chance as he could and trying to be as just like, you know, honest and fair and everything else, he finally had his breaking point. It was just like done. Robert Meyer Burnett's an absolute legend, especially in like a lot of the Star Trek eras and just in Hollywood in general. Go check him out if you haven't already. But it's like literally when it was like they finally broke him. And he had been trying his hardest to hold on to this thing and give it a chance. And he finally just lost it. So it's great. It's great. This is where things get really spicy, though. Shatner's criticism extends beyond mere impressionism and mere impersonation. Maybe you should try delivering the line like an actual human being for once. This is a toddler doing an impression of me. At least I can deliver a line realistically. It's called acting. Ooh, burn! I mean, I don't know about you, boys and girls, but if I would have been that actor hearing that from Captain Kirk, I definitely would have been dealing with some
emotional damage.
Because that is harsh. It's called acting. William Shatner is essentially saying this guy can't even act. I mean, Shatner's like the over the top impersonations and impressions and kind of like parodies that have been done for him for years are very well known, right? Like, I'm not going to really try you one. I can't do a Shatner. I can probably get his cadence right, but that's about it, right, boys and girls? I'm not going to go out there and try and just embarrass myself unless you pay me money, and then obviously I am at your bidding. But at the end of the day, it's one of them situations where it's like there's been so many people that have done it well. It's been so over the top for so long, and you couldn't find one person in all of Hollywood they could have brought in. I mean, there are fans at Comic-Con conventions that you could have hired that probably would have done it for free just to be on the set and see everything. They would have done it for free. They could have done a better job than this. You know, you've all seen them out there. You've seen the impersonations. You know you have. If you're a Star Trek fan at all, you know somebody out there. Probably one of your favorite content creators out there, one of your favorite video creators out there has probably done a really great Shatner and probably way better than this. But I mean, seriously, this is a toddler doing an impression of me. At least I can deliver a line realistically. It's called acting. I mean, ouch. Get that boy an entire bag of ice. I mean, probably a truck, because he's going to need one. Somebody send him to the ER, because that is literally third-degree burns from the OG Captain Kirk, boys and girls. And I don't know how much, what do you need at that point? I mean, who else could probably burn you this bad? I mean, what other kind of iconic franchise whose actor's opinion you actually still give a crap about could burn you like this? I mean, outside of like maybe Peter Capaldi or Matt Smith as a Doctor Who fan roasting me for a poor imitation of them, I don't know what more could be a bigger burn. I really don't. And I certainly wouldn't even try, because I don't do that kind of thing. I'm not dumb enough to do that. This guy's paid to do this and couldn't pull it off. The episode's premise of a holodeck adventure parodying classic Star Trek presents everything wrong with Strange New Worlds' approach to the franchise. It ignores continuity, adding blatant disregard to such canon to ridiculous concepts that fall flat more often than not. And that's what set Robert Meyer Burnett off. He literally was like, all you're doing is ripping off stories from the original series on Trek and literally just doing a very, very poor and garbage imitation of it. He just lost it. If you haven't seen his rant, go find it on his social media, on his X account. Go find it. It is epic. Wesley's casting as Kirk has been problematic since his introduction. The actor lacks Shatner's commanding presence and distinctive vocal patterns that made Kirk's iconic. The kind of pacing that he did with things. As I said, that's the best you're getting out of me. As Shatner also says, Wesley doesn't even look like him. Where Shatner brought gravitas and emotion to the role, Wesley delivers a hollow imitation that captures none of the character's essential qualities. Shatner says, I don't talk like that, he emphasized, highlighting how Wesley's performance misses the mark. The original actor's delivery style, often parodied but never successfully replicated, came from a dramatic training and decades of stage experience. That's right, boys and girls. Color us shocked there. Somebody with actual experience in acting, somebody who may have been classically trained, is going to perform better than the guy who either did or did not go to some acting classes and only got his start in Hollywood because of his boyish good looks that all the ladies just loved on teen dramas on the CW. Let's be completely honest. I thought he did a good job as a vampire, but it wasn't exactly a very super complex character out there, and the guy that did his brother did a much better job out there. So at the end of the day, this really doesn't surprise me, especially the fact knowing William Shatner's background about all of his experience. And that's one of the big things I think we're lacking, especially in the modern era of Hollywood out there, is these actors that are willing to do the work, right? Willing to go that extra mile, to learn their craft, to hone it, to become an incredible job. Or like, that's one of the things I like about a lot of, and I don't know how often that is with like the BBC and stuff like that, but a lot of the legendary actors that have come out of England, that have come out of like the United Kingdom and stuff like that. Like, you know, a lot of them were classically trained. They came up from the stage performances. A lot of these guys that you know, some of your favorite actors that are probably popping in your head right now, these people were classically trained. They came up from the theaters and they started out on stage plays and they were doing all of that kind of stuff. They had to earn their keep before they got into movies and television shows. And that is one of the things that Hollywood for a very long time has never had a pedigree of doing that kind of thing. They are not set up to do that kind of thing. They just grab people and then they'll throw them in acting classes because of their looks or because they fit the part or something like that. And a lot of the time it's worked out pretty well for them. But at the end of the day, there is something that comes with experience. There is a gravity that comes with knowing a stage presence, doing it so many times, and being in front of a live audience, I promise you, is drastically different than being behind a camera. As a guy who literally does this, produces content 7 days a week for you boys and girls out there to enjoy, it's one of them situations where it is as a guy who's done theater performances before and got up in front of large crowds. It is a huge difference between talking to a camera and a small group of people that are all paid to be there than it is an actual audience who can react and boo or cheer you at any time. That is something that hones a skill like no other. And that is something that is severely lacking in Hollywood right now. And clearly, Shatner recognizes that on its own. Shatner's final assessment was damning. I don't know what they're doing. His confusion reflects broader fan frustration with a show that seems more interested in deconstructing Star Trek than celebrating it. Oh, color me shocked there. The activist got in and got a hold of a franchise that's been around for decades and has been generationally a fan favorite and decided to do nothing more to it than destruct and destroy what came before. It's almost like they're trying to rewrite history like every other totalitarian, crazy person who wants to control every aspect of the culture and the world and the politics, and especially you, more than anything else. It's almost like history doesn't just repeat itself, it also rhymes. I'm sure we've never seen this before in like a color revolution or any of the other Marxist revolutions we've seen around the world. No, it couldn't be possible that they're working from the same playbook. Now, could they? No, gotta be something else. I'm sure they're just true believers in all diversity, inclusion, and equity. They just want to have Trek to be able to have everybody see themselves in Star Trek, right? I'm sure that's the actual goal, right? Right? Yeah, I didn't think so either. The episode's boring, uninspired approach to what should have been a fun concept is another example of Strange New Worlds missing the mark on what made classic Trek special. They're trying too hard, like most Alex Kurtzman's productions, to not take Star Trek too seriously. And that's the problem. That's one of the big problems. Everybody wants to make a joke out of it. Everybody wants to be James Gunn and have laughs a minute. No, ho. Because none of them know how to actually write anything that's not just a carbon copy or, well, not even a carbon copy, a poor imitation of what greater men and women did before them. And Shatner's right. Maybe you could try delivering the line like an actual human being for once. This is a toddler doing an impression of me. At least I can deliver a line realistically. It's called acting. And the captain's right. There's a lot of people in Hollywood that have jobs and become the new hot thing in Hollywood for no reason more than they agree with the spirit of the age. We have seen this happen a dozen times. I mean, how many more projects do all of you out there want to see Pedro Pascal in? I mean, at the end of the day, this is what happens. Hollywood latches onto some new hot thing because they agree with the spirit of the age and they give them all the work out there. And I don't know if this guy is an example of that. I don't really know much about it. He hasn't really been all that vocal on social media that I've seen as far as his politics or stuff like that. But at the end of the day, what this really speaks to is it shows you the current state of Star Trek. They don't care or respect the legacy that has come before. They don't respect or care about the fans that have caused this franchise to be so successful for literal generations. To have it to where there has practically always been a Star Trek show during almost every single generation growing up, for better or worse in some cases. But at the end of the day, they show you that they don't care about you as a customer, as a fan. They don't respect you. They don't want to give you anything that you would actually enjoy or that respects what came before. No, all they want to do is give you their trash imitation version that rewrites history and does it in their own image because they must be seen on screen. So this is what we get, a hollow garbage version of things. And William Shatner is at the age now in his life where he's not going to put up with it anymore. He doesn't care. He doesn't give two craps. He's a great follow on social media because he does not care anymore. He is going to call you out for your nonsense. He's going to call you out for your BS, and he is going to shut you down if you do a crappy, poor imitation of him. And I'm here for it. I love it. I love the fact that the man who practically put Star Trek on the map outside of Gene Roddenberry himself, the face of Star Trek, Captain Kirk, is now going out there and roasting the garbage abomination that is the poor imitation Kurtzman, Trek, and Strange New Worlds. I love the fact that Shatner is calling them out, and I hope he continues to call them out, and more fans need to continue to call them out for this garbage, and more people need to be screaming about this, and more people need to be talking about this, because things have changed over there at Paramount. There are new bosses in charge, and it very much sounds like the Kurtzman Trek era will be coming to an end. And ladies and gentlemen, as a Star Trek fan, and as many of you out there, that is probably the best news you could possibly hear. outside of the legendary Captain Kirk absolutely roasting and burning the garbage abomination that is Strange New Worlds. Because after all, Paramount and Kurtzman, you've danced with the devil. And now, not only are you getting burned by your own actions, but Captain Kirk, William Shatner, the OG himself, is roasting you beyond Bolivian. And guess what? It's exactly what you deserve. After all, you did it to yourself.